All right, folks. Day 13, endgame time. Let's see where we are. We need to do a cookie banner. We need to review what I did yesterday with Peter, and we need to release this website and, tell Google to come by and index it. So the first thing that I think you're going to notice straight away is that the fonts have changed. Peter was here yesterday and we looked at it again, and for a while now he's been thinking, I want to try the Montserrat font and see how that transforms the look of the website if we implement it globally. So we did that. He likes it. I'm fine either way, really. That's the beauty of it. I mean, we designed it differently at first in Figma and like throughout the whole project up until the end, but with bricks and with the way we built the website, it's just a couple mouse clicks really to change the font. And we came up with this look. It took us less than 5 minutes and it looks fine as well. So I'm not against it at all. I need to change the font in the menu, I just noticed, but apart from that, and I think the button as well, because I think there's a class on it that sets that font there. So we're going to do that first to make sure that everything is proper here. Bada bing, bada bam, bada boom bam. Let's see, settings, theme styles, block, button, typography. Yeah, we want the Montserrat font on that. Actually, if I just remove that, then it's just the Montserrat font. And we can make it a little bit smaller, perhaps. Let me see the front end. Feels a little bulkier, doesn't it? Let's give it a font weight of like 400, 500. And then font size 0.95 M. Still good. Okay. And then in the header, I think we did that on the ID level. Is it the Saira font or am I just... Control-Shift-I. I don't want any responsive look at this. This is Saira, so somewhere we have this set. I just don't know where. Not here. Not here. Not here. Well, not on the logo, certainly not. Secondary font. Okay, so the secondary font class just needs to disappear. I mean, I'm just going to delete the class. We no longer need it. So if we had it set anywhere else on the website, then it's going to change now. Wait, did I just... yeah. Let me reload it. Let's see what that class actually did. Because this is clearly, this was more than I bargained for. Nav menu. What is this class doing? It's just setting the Saira font. So if I remove that class, yeah. Now if I delete that class, yeah, good, sure. That's what I wanted. Why didn't you do that in the first place? You bastard. All right, good. This looks nice. Yeah, there we go. So the next thing we did is we did some more tweaking to this. We ended up realizing that if we have 4 bars, as we did before, like these 4 panels next to each other, then trying to nudge them back and forth, it's never gonna look exactly like Peter envisioned, especially seeing that if you squeeze the different, like if you look at it at different screen sizes like this, right? And then it was always changing around and Peter was never really entirely happy with it. So he suggested, what if we do 4 panels? And that's what we ended up doing, which, by the way, I still need to fix here. So there's still stuff. Why is this now? I mean, probably let's just reload here. Mosaic. Grid. Repeat 2. And then it just disappears because it doesn't have a height, I would wager. Layout. It has something on desktop. What does it have on desktop? isolate. Yeah, of course. Then we go here, although I no longer need that isolate either, because that was back in the day when we were doing these overlapping images. So that's no longer necessary. We don't need to fix any ZNex issues inside this div or inside this layout. So here we give it a height of 30 rem. Let's make it 40. Should we do VH? No, wait. Where do I? There. Right. That looks fine. For all intents and purposes, it does the job. Yeah. So this is it. This is the way it looks now. So, you know, Peter's happy. I'm happy. No reason to bicker or have any issues with that. There was an FAQ question missing here that we added. And we try to do some more with the team image. He's not happy with the way it looks. But, you know, whatever effects we try to apply on it in GIMP or any kind of sharpening we tried to do, it didn't really end up getting better. I exported it for him, sent it to him, and he's going to do some tinkering with it. If he comes up with something that he likes, he's going to send it to me and we're going to implement it. If not, then, you know, I mean, eventually he's just going to have to deliver another image if that's what he wants, if that's the kind of change he wants there. So that's yesterday night, and we are off to, yeah, we need to do the cookie banner first and then we release the thing. So I'm going to open an incognito window by pressing Control-Shift-N, and I'm going to mixotech.com/access. I'm going to go in here because in an incognito window I won't have any browser extensions, or I think I have two that are like really not making any impact, or any other cookies or anything that's, you know, open in other tabs, messing with potentially the scan that we're about to do. So we go to compliance, we go to wizard, and we are saying here we want to target people like the privacy law guideline that we're optimizing for is the GDPR, European Union. Do you target visitors from Germany, Austria, Belgium? Yes. Does your website have visitors with login access? No visitors with login access. Cookie policy should be generated by compliance. Privacy statement, we're using the existing page that's here. Imprint, we're using the existing page, and then disclaimer is something that the full version offers. Who's the owner of the website? I'm just going to put in the information. So there it is. Save and continue. Yeah, all of this is default. I'm going to clear cookies, and it's going to scan again, and it's going to find a bunch of cookies on this domain, and we're going to see which ones they are. We have the WordPress test cookie, we have WP settings time, logged in, happy files stuff, WP settings more, WordPress test cookie again. And these two cookies, I never really figured out why there are cookies showing up on my websites that have this just like random, character sequences in them. I could also never discern them doing anything, that's relevant to anything. So I'm just going to let them, just going to accept that they exist. Do you compile statistics for this website? Now, this is always a bit murky. Yes, we do compile statistics for this website, but we're using Matomo. Though I could set here, yes, I'm doing this with Matomo, but a while ago, I think like last year or something, I did research on what the best way is to implement Matomo if you're using the Matomo WordPress plugin and not self-hosting Matomo and using it that way. That has a separate installation on the server. And even compliance itself just suggests that you select no here and you do all the setup in Matomo, which we already did. We did the cookie list tracking and all that stuff. And then on this end, it's fine. Do you want to use consent per service? I just leave this all on default. Does your website use third-party services? No. Contain embedded social media content like buttons, timelines? No. Do you have stated that you don't use that? Do you use plugins that might set marketing cookies? No. Does your website contain scripts or advertising for advertising? No. Does your website use WordPress comments? No again. Save and continue. We found one active plugin, ACF. Okay. Because ACF is implemented in Advanced Themer, it just comes as part of that plugin. It is always installed on any website that uses Advanced Themer, but we're not really using advanced custom fields. But you know, it's there and compliance detects it. Save and continue. So here it's gonna just tell us what cookies it found. It's gonna ask us what to do with them. Since none of this makes any, like these cookies don't make any sense to me, and I don't see them doing anything that's relevant for users to even, you know they're there. I'm disabling that on the cookie policy. On WordPress, the WordPress cookies, yes, you know, we have these logged in test cookies, settings and all that stuff. Compliance knows them and tells us what they exactly are and what they do. So there's nothing else here we need to set. And then for ACF, it just tells us that there's an ACF cookie and it knows what that is and does it. So cookie, continue, create documents. Yes, document is already set up. It belongs in this menu, save and continue. And we want to enable the cookie script, the script blocker, and we want to show the consent banner. And we're going to click finish here. Yay, we're getting some party. Now I wrote them about the fact that every time, like as soon as I have the preview on and I'm using this soft cookie wall, which you just saw, then when I go through the settings here, first of all, okay, manage cookie consent. You can already see that this soft cookie wall always keeps appearing. And they tell me they can't reproduce it. They don't have that issue. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to disable the preview. Categories, except in I view preferences is fine. Or actually, I'm going to disable the soft cookie wall, because I do want to see the preview when I'm working on it right now. Reset to default values, no. Save and continue. Again, you know, we have this wall which is just like preventing us from doing stuff. I don't know, I don't have the patience right now to try to figure out like which plugin might be interfering here and all that shit. I don't care. So I'm just going to disable the soft cookie wall. Where is it? There. Save and continue, or no, save. I just disabled it. Come on. Seriously. Previous. I disabled the fucking thing. Okay, I don't know. The thing is, I don't have time for that crap. So I just reloaded and I think now it's gone. Bottom right, animation none. Width of the banner in pixels, sure. Default is fine. Checkbox style, slider is okay. Right. Yeah, there's no checkbox right now. We want legal document links on the banner. Yes, we want them down here. The logo, we don't want that on the banner. The close button, we don't want a close button because, you know, that's not GDPR compliant. You shouldn't just be able to click it away. We don't want the box shadow. It looks nice without a box shadow. Nothing else on a website is using a box shadow, not on the header and footer. We don't want the soft cookie wall, at least not while we're trying to, you know, set up this plugin. Later, I can re-enable it. It is kind of nice to have that overlaying the website, so it really kind of makes the user just accept or deny cookies before they actually get to use the website. Show border radius on the banner. There's nothing else on the website has a border radius, right? So why should there be a border radius on the cookie banner? Border width on the banner, no border. Border radius on the buttons is fine. Font size 12. Can even make it smaller. 11? No, that's too small. 12 was fine then. Wait. Okay, like this, we save it, we just leave it at 13. And we go, the background should be, why don't we make it this yellow? So I just use the color picker to pick that. no border. Text can be black. Hyperlinks should be, yeah, you know what? No, let's turn this. Let's use the fill color for that. So this color, text should be white. And the hyperlinks should be this green color. Zero zero 500. Yeah, very nice. Toggles. Background should be same thing here. Then the bullet, whatever, inactive should be gray, is fine. Buttons. The accept button has no background color. We're going to stay slightly somewhat close to this. Obviously, I don't want to rebuild the whole button again. So the border is going to have this color. Why is it not? Where did I set the border? It's probably CSS later that does that. So the text should be white. None of this is actually being respected. So I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to find out later. We go to text on the manage consent tab, cookies, header, manage cookie consent, accept button, accept, deny, settings, oops, or preferences, save preferences, cookie message. Now, the cookie message we're going to get from my wiki. This is it. So what it says is we use cookies and similar technologies on our website, for instance, to ensure functionality and security or to collect statistics. We also process personal data about you, such as your IP address. We share this data with third parties. No, we don't do any of that. We don't process and we don't share. This processing of data can take place with your consent on the basis of legitimate, which you can object to in custom privacy. You have the right to only consent to essential services. There, you have the right to only consent to essential services and to change or revoke your consent at a later point in time. Use the settings button at the bottom of your screen. Use the cookies button. Some services process personal data in the USA by agreeing to the use of the services. All of that is not true. Well, on this, US is viewed by the EGA as a country. In particular, there's a risk that you later will be. Yes, all of this can go. We're only using Matomo. Are you below 16 years of age? In that case, you cannot consent to optional services, or you need to ask your legal guardian to do this with you. So there we are. That's, to the best of my knowledge, the cookie banner text that we need. Functional cookies and statistics. Save and continue. And now here there's probably going to be CSS that does these buttons. Yeah. So here you can see that I have for all buttons text transform uppercase. We don't want that. Because, you know, on the website itself, there's no text transform uppercase for the buttons. Accept and deny, we want to have the background color transparent. That's fine. Border, 2 pixels solid, and then we put the color in here. This one. Yeah, now we've got this color, and then the text color should be white. Transition all, 2 seconds, ease in. That's good enough, right? So the hover gets the same background color here. And then the color is going to be that dark blue. Let's see. I think actually I can use variables in here, can't I? I'm just going to use variables. Var action. And here we go var action, and then we go var base. Bingo. Very nice. And we save. Settings saved. We go back to show us off cookie wall. Yeah, see, come on. Save and continue. Eventually, you know, when I have time, I'm gonna go and figure out, you know, follow up on that support ticket and figure out what's interfering with the CSS so that this cookie wall always shows while I'm trying to configure the thing. Now, if I go to the front end, we can see that the cookie banner is there, but the cookie wall is not there. Let's find out why. Show us off cookie wall. Did I save that? Did you guys see me save that? Because I saw me save that. Save and continue. Sure. I mean, all right. Save again. Control F5. There we go. There's the soft cookie wall. Why is this all in German? Why is this all in German? All right, waste of your time, waste of my time, but I'm not going to waste your time as well with this. I'm going to pause. So yeah, all this work that we did here just wasn't saved. I don't know why, but you know, I'm just redoing it. All right, here we are. Now I think I can actually make this a little bit narrower. So I go back to appearance, go back to general. No, appearance. Width. .300 pixels is fine. And we're going to save and continue. Save. This is messed up. This is really messed up. This is, I mean, what the hell? Seriously? Why is this happening now? Like, it's... I don't know. All right, so I disabled caching and just resaved all of that stuff in the back end. Probably caching was messing with me, let's face it. So let's go to, yeah, sure. Let's go to the menus, appearance menus. Let's go to legal documents menu. We're going to rename this to privacy. I'm going to rename this to legal notice. And cookies is cookies. Save menu. Okay, now the cookie banner has disappeared. Sure. It's nice to have, you know, this kind of always something new. Why is it still in German? I don't know. Let's see if it's still Germany at the bottom. No, this is English. Yeah, then this is German as we accepted. Oh, probably because it's pulling in the actual pages. So let's rename the pages as well. It's not pulling in the menu where I just changed the names, but it's just displaying the pages. Bulk actions, edit. Oh no, wait, of course, I can't do that. Quick edit. And the legal notice. Bingo. Okay, so we've got our cookie banner. Now what we should do is see what happens actually if first of all, I got to remember that I disabled caching. So let's log out. Now let's go back to MyxoTech. And now it shouldn't be loading any cookies that, you know, are problematic. Go to sources, and we're seeing that everything that's being loaded on this website right now is just coming from MyxoTech.com itself, from the WP content folder, right? That's what if we go to DevTools and sources, that's what they tell us. We go to application, I believe, cookies, we can see that there's just cookies here. The compliance zone cookies, they're all fine. We have the WordPress test cookie, we have the WordPress language cookie, and we have these two cookies that I don't know what they do. HTTP only, secure, yeah. So I'm going to middle click on this, which is nice on Linux. If you you can set it up so if you middle click here, this is always going to stay on top. So now if I accept, let's see if the cookies change at all. It doesn't seem like it. Right, so, which also makes sense because there are no tracking cookies or any cookies that process personal information that are supposed to be blocked here. So it's all good. Now, I will do a little bit of more research in the future on what's going on with these types of cookies, because again, I'm seeing them on other websites as well. If I find a solution to that, I'll be happy to make another video in this series. But for now, this is what we live with. I really don't consider them a problem. Now, the background color of this thing here needs to be still changed. So let's go back to /access, log in. Okay, so I just got all that CSS out of here because I hate this little window there. I'm just putting it into a larger window here to work with it. So we want to change this. Accept deny buttons, no, here, manage consent tab. So the color should be the fill color, or was it base? I think it was base. And here the color should be the action color. Control A, Control C, Control A, Control V, save. See here the preview's messed up too, but as long as it's fine in the front end, I'm fine. So this didn't get saved. Guess we save it again and again and again, 2, 3, 4 times. Press Control F5, press Control F5. Now. We're good? We're good, we're good, we're good. We're frustrated and good. I don't know why I need to do all these hacky things, you know, why I need to spam the save button and all that stuff. But if in the end it works, I'm fine with it. I go to cache, I enable page caching. I go to minify, enable minify. Go back to cache, enable preload, run the preload. And that's it. All right, so I paused for a moment here, and because I was still curious, I closed Chrome and everything, you know, all the different windows in Chrome, including the incognito window and all that hoo-ha. and I cleared the cache, session, storage, and whatnot. So this is a fresh, newly opened Chrome with the MyxoTech website open in an incognito window. And you can see that there are no cookies loaded before I accept. And now I'm going to click accept, and still no cookies. So I'm going to reload, Control F5. And we see that in the front end, without being logged in, I'm not logged into this website. All the cookies that fire are all those compliance cookies, right? So none of these other weird cookies that we saw, none of the WordPress settings or language, time, whatever cookies are getting fired while you're not logged in. And none of these 7xbzy something random characters cookies fire on the front end. So that's a good reason not to give a crap about them. So we're good for all intents and purposes. This website, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not a lawyer, is GDPR compliant. And this is where we go in and we give it to search engines, specifically Google, to index. So I go to MyxoTech.com/access. I'm going to log in. Does that sometimes happen to you? Like you try to use the keyboard to log in and then it just won't accept your entry. So this is fine. And then I go to settings reading, WordPress settings reading. Don't discourage search engines. Go to GSC. Start now. And I'm going to change my account. And I'm going to go to MyxoTech.com, which is where I already am. So now I'm logged in with my brand artery account and I'm on MyxoTech.com. And I believe we already submitted the sitemap. Yes. And we are about to submit MyxoTech.com, the actual URL. And this is what I think is good to have or good to do. Any page that you specifically really want to get indexed fast, you go here, you say inspect any URL, and we're doing a front page right now, so I'm telling it please inspect that, and it's telling me okay, it's not on Google. So I don't just click request index, I test live URL. Takes a moment. See, and then it's going to tell you if it's available for indexing, and if it's fine, it's testing, and it's telling me there's a problem here. It's excluded by no index tag. So we're going to find out why, because clearly we unset this. Going to purge the cache again, I guess. And we are going to go to the actual page and see if there's something here in the page settings that might cause this. But no, it's clearly set to do index. Yeah, so this is all good. We're going to do another URL inspections. There, test again. And there we go, it's all good. So it's telling me it's available to Google, and only now that I've run this test do I say request indexing. And now indexing is requested, and in a couple of days, this website will actually appear on Google. I expect it to be tomorrow, really. Today's June 2nd, Sunday, so tomorrow, Monday, June the 3rd, it should be fine. And then we check how far we are along in our progress here. Cookie policy and banner is done. We have we've done our checkup, our due diligence as not being lawyers. On page SEO, check rank math config, SEO audit, no index. Let's run another SEO audit through rank math. See if that tells us anything horrible. Restart. Yeah. This is going really nicely here. We have one warning. Automatic updates are not enabled, and that's not going to happen. We have a failed test, image alt attributes. Yeah, we do need to do those. They're also an accessibility issue, as we discussed. So, I mean, I'll do them now, actually. So I'll see you in a moment. Here in the media library, just in Happy Files, go to all files, open this, and then just go through them one by one. So actually, I don't always know what's visible on these images. So I'm going to have to talk to Peter about that. So for now, for instance, like these ones, apparently they're all fruiting bodies, but there's later on, there's going to be stuff that, you know, is that I could just describe as chemicals at the moment. So I'm going to talk to Peter about that and see what he says. So what I'm doing now is MyxoTech team. I'm just filling the alternative text for now, because you're going to see in a moment, I'm going to do something else when I'm done with that. Ruling bodies to get all the footer, mosaic, to put in all the titles. This is also, it's also a chance to do a little bit of cleanup, because this picture, we don't really need that anymore. So I'm just going to delete it. Right. And then we're back here and we can continue. So now all these pictures have alt text. And now if I go here and I display them all as list, and then I think this is thanks to rank math, I get these two columns here, title and alternative text. So if I click here and click here, then I can just take this stuff, the alternative text, and I can just put them here, right? Control A, whoops, Control C, Control V, Control A, Control C, Control V, and so on. I'm going to do this for all of them. Okay, so now we have, you know, all of these titles and alternative text duplicated, and then what I'm just going to take is this MyxoTech, you know, suffix, and I'm just going to add it where it's necessary. Oops, it's already there. It says MyxoTech here, fruiting bodies, MyxoTech, footer mosaic, MyxoTech, MyxoTech icon, no, not MyxoTech, right? There, save all edits, and now we have, you know, the company name in the title of the image, which is going to help it get indexed in Google image search for, you know, the company name. So we go back to rank math, go to SEO Analyzer and run that again, restart. Got 87 out of 100. Still telling me that there's images with no alt attribute, possibly because of caching. Focus keywords, there are 5 templates, 4 pages, 6 team members with no focus keyword. That is fine, it doesn't matter. Post titles missing focus keywords. There's 1 page published post where the primary focus keyword does not appear in the post title. The only one that we really care about is the front page, which is the one that we want indexed, and all that other stuff is really no templates, no pages, none of that stuff we want to have indexed. So let's just double check that it's all set to no index. Also, let's purge the cache and let's see if it still is angry about, yeah, no index, no index. Let's see if it's still angry about the image alt tags. No index is all good, right? So the pages are no index. Wait, cookies. Wait, why are the, okay, these are clearly, they have to be no index. Edit, except of course, there's a playground. Okay, this is weird. Where's the front page? Why is the front page not among all pages? Oh, because it filled. Okay, first of all, I'm going to delete this playground page. That's housekeeping. Is there a filter somewhere? Yeah, I don't care. Okay, fine. So these should be, none of the legal documents should ever show up in Google. They have no business being in Google search results. They should just be, you know, on the website. Nobody is looking for your privacy policy in Google. So cookies, legal notice, and privacy. I don't know what happened here, but you know, this is why we're doing this stuff now, and we're catching it now, because you don't want to find that out in like a week or a month when all of this stuff is indexed, right? So no follow, no nothing, no index. Usually this is set up exactly like that in my blueprint. So After today's video, I'm going to check the blueprint. And see if that's still the case. Let's run the SEO analyzer again. Yeah, it's 92, and then now it should be even more. Or it might not be because it's still bitching that there's no. Yeah, so there are no focus keywords for pages that I don't want indexed. So we're good. We're fine. Now, let's see. So this is all good. Checkup on page SEO is fine. And one round of quality assurance, full website tests, email address, forms, links, slugs. Yeah, let's check links and slugs. Let's see here. My templates. Let's go to all pages. There we go. Now all the pages are being displayed too. And this one doesn't really need a specific slug. This one, the slug is fine. This one, the slug is fine. And for the style guide, why do I have a style guide? I think at some point I was tinkering around with the style guide. I don't need that. So we have 4 pages, cookies, front page, legal notice, and privacy. All that is good. Everything's cleaned up. And links, just to go to the front page and see if everything works. We click on mission. Yes, that's fine. Click on services. It works. About us works. FAQ. Yep. Team. All good. Contact works. And then these buttons work as well. Yes. Brings us all down to the contact section. Very nice. This is all good. This is all good. Email us now. If I click, I should get a new, yes, Thunderbird new message. So that's good. I'm thinking, since there are no forms or anything on this website, release to search engines. We just did that. Tool assisted as is analysis. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, screw it. Let's do this now. So we're going to need a new window, and I'm going to press Control Shift. No, wait. I'm just going to go to all bookmarks, professional, analysis tools, and I'm going to open all 28 in a tab group. They don't need to be in the tab group, but now they are. So we wait for them to populate, and we are going to run all of these tools on that website, MyxoTech.com. Enter. Speed test from Frankfurt. We want to have a built with lookup. We have checked it responsively in the browser on different device sizes. I'm going to do a DSGVO GDPR check. We're going to do a This is a carbon footprint check. So, protecting the climate. Obviously, we can't Google this. These tests, there are also for if a client comes to me and wants me to check their website, or if I am about to take on a website, then I'm also going to Google it. I'm going to see if they Google my business, Google profile, their business profile on Google is properly set up, and stuff like that. So basically I just Google them. Then what I do is I can do a site check. Like this is a Google search operator. So if I look for site, and then any website, like for instance, my own bryandartery.com, I can see what actually from this domain is in Google's index. And that gives me some idea of whether this client's website is properly indexed. So now if I do MyxoTech.com, there should be nothing because we just submitted it to Google for indexing, so that's going to take some time. What do you got, guy? Ooh, it's a can. And then we can do a cache. So if you use the search operator cache : come on, cache : brand artery. Well, let's do one of the websites that are recently released. You can see this is what Google's cache sees. This is the way Google has crawled and cached this website. So this looks pretty fine. It's not loading the font properly. It's just using Times New Roman here. But apart from that, this looks like the website I built. And that means you know, that means things are good. Google is able to crawl this website and cache it. If this was all, you know, all over the place or broken or just nothing there at all, then Google has a problem crawling a website. So this is how you can check that. Yeah, you check for the business profile. So let's say, for instance, Natalia's website, right? Or Natalia's business. It's one of my clients. She's a translator. This is her Google My Business. It used to be Google My Business. Now it's just Google profile. And you can see here her reviews, and you know, you can see that everything here is properly set up, you know, opening hours and stuff like that. You want to double check that. So we don't need to do that for MyxoTech, but we want to do a sideliner test. We want to do an HTTP status. We want to do why no padlock, copyscape. Some of these go really deeper than we're going to discuss today. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat, but I'm just going to run them all. What's that site running? Netcraft is very nice. Majestic. And I think at this point, there's a bunch of stuff that I actually never end up using. I put them in my list to have them there, but they're not really part of my audit. All of these tools that you see here are free, right? And I'm going to make a separate video about them. Site Improve, the accessibility checker. Yeah, again, still, this is largely uncharted territory for me. I mean, I know basics about accessibility. We just did the alt tags on the images, but there's still a lot that I need to learn about accessibility. And I'm just going to say it right, because I'm just going to come right out and say it. I'm not an expert. I'm just not that good at it yet. It's something that I have to get figured out by, you know, spring of next year, because there will be laws coming. And them's the breaks. So for now, I'm going to skip this accessibility checker. This sitemap checker actually is broken. So I've tried it several times. It doesn't work, but I'm still keeping it here in case at some point it starts working. And then what you can do for an audit, let's say you have a client that you've had for a year or two, and they say, hey, we want to do some SEO. Then you can go to Google Search Console. You can bring up the property, and you can look up what. Actually, let me see if I can give you an example. On the other screen. Give me a second. Yeah, why don't we use this one that was just recently released? Let's see. The one that we just looked at in the cache. Yes. If you go to performance, you can see, first of all, you know, how are they performing? And I can see that they're getting, you know, on average something around 6 to 8 clicks a day, up to 12. And they, wait, clicks 2, impressions 103. Yeah, impressions and clicks. So they do get, sometimes they get like up to 10 clicks a day. And then this is really interesting. How are they being found? So you can get actual data from Google here, showing you what do people type in, what kinds of search terms do they use to find that business on Google. And if you want to do any SEO for a client that's been with you for a while, it's really valuable to have that historic data, because it gives you a general idea of what the market's already doing there. And that's quite useful. So that's why I have this in my analysis roster. So let's go instant domain search. Yeah, we go to SEO analysis. This is now in German. You can do this in English. You go to search.com, I think. No. I'm going to run this again, but in English. Search.net. MyxoTech.com. So speed test, we're getting a grade of 86. That's very nice. Compressed components with gzip. I think we discussed that the other day. I don't know why it's telling me that, because I have gzip compression enabled, but 86 is fine. We can see how fast the website loads. We had this already, right? It's really fast, so it's all good. We have our built with, which just tells us, I mean, we know what our website is built with because we built it. But if we were doing an audit on another website, then we could see here, oh, this has been built with typo 3, right? And they're using this and that plugin. So that's really nice. Also tells us, you know, server and document encoding and all that stuff. So a lot of really useful information. But later we're going to have Netcraft as well, which is doing a lot of the same things, but it also gives us different information. So that's useful. GDPR says everything's fine, right? There's no, it didn't discover anything worth noting. This is Google's debugger. No, not Google, the Facebook debugger, which checks what the site will look like when it's shared on social media. We've talked about this before. I'm going to scrape it again because last time it scraped was 2 days ago and 4 seconds ago, and we see if it's ever shared on websites, on social media. It's annoying that now I need to change this font, so I'm going to need to go back and do that. I'm not going to waste your time with that, but yeah. Then we see that, you know, CO2, everything's fine. There's an English CO2 checking tool as well. It's called website carbon calculator. I'm going to do that as well. But yeah, this is really nice. I'm proud of that. We have our favicon checker. I think we talked about this before. It's just, you know, if somebody puts it on their home screen on their iOS device or Android or whatnot, all the favicons here are displayed properly, good resolution, and properly implemented. The Siteliner tells you if you have broken links on your pages, if you have duplicate content, stuff like that. It skipped a couple of pages, which are these 3, the private, because I set them to no index, right? Privacy policy, legal notice, and cookie policy is not something that, you know, is supposed to be crawled or looked at. So it doesn't do that. And, you know, it gives you just a whole bunch of information about what's going on your different pages on your website. Do you have internal links that go in? Do you have internal links that go out? Do you have external links? Where do they go? Right? So it's a really nice tool to just check everything about your website in terms of SEO, in terms of technical SEO. If you go back to the front, it just says explore your site, find duplicate content, broken links, and more. You can check the HTTP status. It immediately gives me a 200, which is a status code saying, so server status code saying that everything's fine. And we can see if somebody opens this website, there are no redirects that happened from HTTP to HTTPS and then to HTTPS www or stuff like that. You just immediately land on https MyxoTech.com. So this is just a matter of loading times. You know, if you test a website and you see that there's a bunch of redirects happening here, then you might want to do some optimization. We can check why there's no padlock. We can see that it has a padlock, right? So connection is secure. We did our SSL install. The website is SSL protected and it's all good. So MyxoTech.com, right? Connection is secure. So happy. But if ever it is not secure, then whynopadlock.com gives you some indications of what might be happening. Also, sometimes your site might be secure, but you might get some warnings here or there. So it's never a bad idea to just run this whynopadlock.com. Copyscape is looking for duplicate content elsewhere on the internet. So it checks your website, and then it checks if any other websites have the same content as yours, and, you know, gives you a heads up, and you can see what you want to do about it. Whois is basically a Whois query. You can look up who the domain belongs to, where it's hosted, and that can give you useful information. Again, for our own domain, it really is not that interesting. ACO Technologies owns it. It's hosted in Baden-Württemberg. NetCup, right? So it's in Germany, so hunky-dory. Security headers, we had this before. We implemented the security headers. We're getting an A+, so perfect. Cookie scan, no cookies, very nice. Site report, again, Netcraft, that's sort of the alternative to BuildWith, which gives us some more information about, you know, what IP stuff is going on. A lot of technical stuff that I don't even understand, quite honestly. We can see that it's an Nginx server. Unfortunately, neither this nor buildwith.com tells me the PHP version, which is kind of sad. You need to do other things, probably have access to the website to really figure out what PHP version is running there. But we know already that it's PHP 8.3 because we set it up just a couple of videos ago. Majestic. I need to refamiliarize with Majestic. Again, I have it in my toolbox because at some point I read about it and thought it made sense, and then I put it in there, but I'm not really using it at the moment. Robots.txt, we just double check our robots.txt, and that's the robots.txt that we implemented, which, you know, prevents a bunch of malicious crawlers from crawling. And here everything else is fine. hreflang is a good one to know if, you know, you have a multi-language website, if it's properly implemented. Again, there's stuff here that I still need to learn, but for me, it's good to have this tool in here. And then this browser is cool. If you want to do SEO on a website, this browser shows you the website, but without any styling at all. It just shows you the actual contents. So it's helpful for debugging, because, you know, all the bling bling and nice styling and layout and design that you put on a website could distract from what's really going on under the hood structurally and in terms of code, in terms of the way it's built. And this SEO, browserseo.net, is helping you with that. We see here, right at the beginning, we see response codes. Again, there's a 200 OK, which we already saw at a different tool. Text information, how many words are on this site, how many internal and external links, no follow links. It gives you, you know, an X-ray of the page head in the HTML. SERP preview gives you that. That's really nice. You know, that's exactly, what we want. When it eventually is indexed in Google, we want to have this really nice preview. And then the headings, right? We got H1, H2s, H3s, and no other H1. So that's really all good and dandy. And then again, you know, here's the content. So browseo.net is really cool. We talked about this. And here, you know, website carbon calculator. Again, this is the English alternative to the one that we looked at earlier. It gives us an A rating. Barely any CO2 is emitted every time someone visits this web page, because there are no huge videos being loaded or large images, stuff like that. Appears to be running on sustainable energy, so I chose a good hosting company that does that. And it gives me a bunch of other information about, you know, if this website is carbon neutral and good for the climate or not. So again, back to SEO. Now, this is the SEO analysis in English, search.net. And it tells us a lot of the stuff we've already seen. It says the title tag has the right length, 52 characters, unlocking microbial dark matter chemistry, MyxoTech, correct number of words. Description, we can just quickly have a glance at, you know, any website that we want to check. What can they rank for instance? MyxoTech and chemistry are the two keywords that this website could realistically rank for, the way the copy is written and structured right now. And if we go further, the heading structure is something that I find really interesting. Just semantics. We have one H1, and this waterfall shows you, if you set up your content properly, to have, you know, a hierarchy of headings, H1, H2, H2, H3, and then again an H2, H3, no more H1s, and this is all nice, you know. It's nicely produced and nicely done. And then yeah, there's a ton more information, but really on search, if I want to have a quick impression of how a site is doing, that's usually what I look at. Heading structure, this stuff, what can they rank for? And then these things are at the top. And then further down, there's also speed tests again, which, you know, we didn't get a very happy result on pagespeed.web.dev. But that's really the only thing that still irks me a little bit about this website. If I look at all the other results that we just went through, I think this site is really genuinely good and ready. So we go back to here and we say tool assisted analysis. Happy. Yay. Bingo. Handover. I'm going to do a handover for the client. And for the next 1 or 2 weeks, I'm just going to keep an eye on Google Search Console to see if there's any warnings now that it's going to index that website. If it's going to tell me anything about, you know, sketchy stuff going on the website. Sometimes there's suspicious stuff that Google might see, or just have trouble indexing the website and whatnot. And this project, I think, The housekeeping's done as well. I think we're happy with that. Oops, come on. Okay, this project is done. We're finished. Thank you very much for watching. There might be a follow-up video depending on what I think of here, but I think we've reached the end. And I really hope you guys had a good time with this. I hope you learned a bunch of things and I provided some value. If I did, feel free to share this with other people who might need it, right? This is the first time for me actually doing this, so I'm excited. I'm excited that we reached this point together, and I'm of course about to release this series on YouTube. Nothing has happened yet, so I really look forward to engaging with you, reading your comments, and I'm going to do live premieres. Perhaps I'm going to be chatting live to some of you guys there as well. It's awesome. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Let me know in the comments if you want more of this in the future. Bye.